Every 66 seconds, another senior is diagnosed with dementia. But here's what they don't tell you. For many, it wasn't inevitable. A shocking new study reveals that up to 54% of dementia cases in seniors may be triggered by medications sitting in your medicine cabinet right now. These aren't rare or unusual drugs. They're the pills you take for sleep, allergies, bladder control, everyday medications that could be silently shrinking your hippocampus by 28% or more. Today, I'm exposing the 7 most dangerous medications that trigger rapid cognitive decline, backed by research from Harvard Medical School and the National Academy of Medicine. And number 3 on this list? It's something 1 in 4 seniors take regularly, completely unaware it's crossing the blood-brain barrier and disrupting memory formation. Look, I know this sounds alarming, maybe even unbelievable. You're thinking, my doctor prescribed these. They must be safe. But here's the harsh reality. Most physicians receive less than 8 hours of geriatric pharmacology training in medical school. They're not deliberately harming you. They simply don't know. The pharmaceutical industry has spent decades normalizing these prescriptions while burying research about their cognitive risks. In fact, a 2023 analysis found that drug companies have known about these brain-damaging effects since the 1990s, but continued marketing aggressively to seniors because you represent their most profitable demographic. What you're about to learn could be the difference between celebrating your grandchild's graduation with a clear mind or struggling to remember their name, between maintaining your independence or needing constant care, between being you or becoming someone your family no longer recognizes. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to save you from a preventable tragedy that's destroying millions of lives. Now let's start with number 7. And don't let its position fool you. This medication is in almost every senior's home, and it's been secretly sabotaging memory for decades. Number 7. First-generation antihistamines. Diphenhydramine, you know it as Benadryl, Tylenol PM, Advil PM, or any medication with PM in the name. It's that pink pill or blue capsule that promises peaceful sleep and allergy relief. Seems harmless, right? After all, you can buy it at any grocery store without a prescription. But here's what the warning label doesn't tell you. Every time you take it, you're literally poisoning your brain's memory center. Diphenhydramine is what scientists call a dirty drug. It doesn't just block histamine to stop your sniffles. It crosses directly into your brain and blocks acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter essential for forming new memories. Think of acetylcholine as the save button in your brain's computer. Without it, experiences don't convert to memories. Conversations vanish. Where you put your keys becomes a mystery. Your grandchild's birthday disappears into the void. The Adult Changes in Thought study followed 3,134 seniors for over 7 years. Those who took diphenhydramine or similar antihistamines regularly, just 50 milligrams before bed for 3 years, had a 54% higher risk of developing dementia. Let that sink in. A medication you can buy next to the candy aisle increases your dementia risk by more than half. But wait, it gets worse. Your brain produces less acetylcholine as you age. It's like having a flashlight with dying batteries. Now add a drug that blocks what little acetylcholine you have left, and you're fumbling in complete darkness. This is why seniors who take Benadryl often describe feeling fuzzy the next day. That's not drowsiness. That's your hippocampus struggling to function. The solution: if you need allergy relief, switch to second-generation antihistamines like loratadine, Claritin, or cetirizine, Zyrtec. They don't cross the blood-brain barrier. For sleep, try melatonin, magnesium glycinate, or chamomile tea. These work with your brain's natural chemistry instead of against it. But here's where most people mess up. They think if they only take it occasionally, they're safe. Wrong. Even intermittent use creates what researchers call anticholinergic burden. It's cumulative. Like sun damage to your skin, each dose adds up until one day the damage becomes irreversible. Now, if you think antihistamines are concerning, wait until you hear about number 6. This next medication is prescribed for legitimate pain, but the trade-off might be your ability to recognize your own reflection. Number 6. Opioid pain medications. The comfort that costs everything. Oxycodone, hydrocodone, morphine, fentanyl. These powerful painkillers have become incredibly common in seniors managing arthritis, back pain, or post-surgical recovery. Your doctor prescribes them with good intentions, wanting to ease your suffering. But a groundbreaking 2023 study just revealed something terrifying. Regular opioid use doesn't just risk addiction, it literally shrinks your brain. Researchers at UC San Francisco scanned the brains of seniors using opioids for chronic pain. What they found was shocking. White matter, the brain's communication highways, showed significant deterioration. Gray matter volume decreased by up to 3% per year of use. That's triple the normal aging rate. But here's the part that should make you furious. Pharmaceutical companies have known about opioids' cognitive effects for decades, but marketed them as safe for long-term use in elderly patients. Opioids work by flooding your brain with artificial pleasure signals, but they also depress your entire central nervous system. Your neurons slow down, reaction times increase, mental fog becomes your new normal. A study of 13,000 seniors found that those on regular opioid therapy had a 1.4-fold higher risk of developing dementia within 5 years. That number jumps to 2.1-fold if you're taking high doses. What makes this especially cruel is that chronic pain itself can affect cognition, so you're caught in a vicious cycle. The pain clouds your thinking, the medication meant to help makes it worse, and gradually you lose pieces of yourself. One patient described it perfectly. "I traded my backache for my brain, and I didn't even know I was making that deal." The alternatives aren't perfect, but they're brain-safe. Physical therapy, though challenging, actually improves cognitive function. Acetaminophen, while less powerful, doesn't cross the blood-brain barrier. Topical NSAIDs like diclofenac gel target pain locally without systemic effects. Cognitive behavioral therapy for pain management sounds like psychobabble, but studies show it reduces pain perception by 30 to 50% without any pills. If you're currently on opioids, do not stop suddenly. That's dangerous. But have an honest conversation with your doctor about tapering down while adding non-pharmaceutical approaches. Your future self will thank you. Speaking of conversations with doctors, the next medication on our list is one they prescribe thinking they're preserving your dignity. Instead, it might be stealing your identity. Number 5. Bladder control medications. The dignity destroyer, oxybutynin, tolterodine, solifenacin. If you're taking any of these for overactive bladder, you need to hear this. 1 in 4 seniors with bladder issues is prescribed oxybutynin, making it one of the most common medications in nursing homes and assisted living facilities. Doctors present it as a simple solution. Take this pill, stop worrying about accidents. What they don't mention is that you might also stop remembering your grandchildren's names. These medications work by blocking acetylcholine in your bladder muscles, reducing spasms and urgency. But here's the problem. They're not selective. Oxybutynin especially crosses into your brain like a burglar with a master key. A 2019 study in the British Medical Journal found that seniors taking oxybutynin for just 1 year had a 2.3-fold increased risk of dementia diagnosis. That's a 130% increase. For a medication meant to improve quality of life, that's an unacceptable trade-off. Dr. Shelley Gray from the University of Washington led a study tracking 3,334 seniors. She found that those taking anticholinergic bladder medications showed measurable cognitive decline within just 60 days. Memory tests scores dropped. Word recall disappeared. Processing speed slowed to a crawl. One participant said, "I stopped wetting myself, but I started forgetting myself." The mechanisms are particularly cruel for older adults. Your brain is already producing 30% less acetylcholine by age 70. These drugs block what little you have left. It's like trying to drive cross-country on a quarter tank of gas while someone's siphoning from your fuel line. You might make it a few miles, but eventually you're stranded. Here's what Big Pharma doesn't want you to know. Newer alternatives exist. Mirabegron, works through a completely different mechanism. It relaxes the bladder without touching acetylcholine. Studies show it's equally effective with zero cognitive impact. Botox injections into the bladder last 6 to 9 months and don't affect the brain at all. Pelvic floor physical therapy strengthens muscles naturally. But the best-kept secret: simple lifestyle changes work for 60% of people. Scheduled bathroom visits, limiting fluids after 6 p.m., avoiding caffeine and alcohol. These strategies might seem basic, but they're brain-safe and often just as effective as medication. If you're thinking, well, at least my antidepressant is safe, I have bad news. The next medication has been masquerading as a mental health savior while secretly accelerating cognitive decline. Number 4. Tricyclic antidepressants. The old guard's dark secret. Amitriptyline, nortriptyline, doxepin. These older antidepressants are still prescribed to millions of seniors, not just for depression, but for nerve pain, migraines, and insomnia. Your doctor might tell you they're well-established or time-tested. What they mean is these drugs are old, cheap, and insurance companies love them. What they don't say is that they're cognitive poison for aging brains. Tricyclic antidepressants are the heavyweight champions of anticholinergic activity. While Benadryl blocks some acetylcholine, tricyclics carpet bomb your entire cholinergic system. A massive study in JAMA Internal Medicine tracked seniors for 10 years. Those taking tricyclics daily had a 54% increased risk of dementia. But here's the kicker: even low doses used just for sleep showed a 31% increased risk. The mechanism is insidious. These drugs don't just block memory formation, they interfere with the brain's cleanup crew. Every night during deep sleep, your brain flushes out toxic proteins, including beta-amyloid, the substance that forms Alzheimer's plaques. Tricyclics disrupt this process. It's like never taking out the garbage. Eventually, your house becomes unlivable. Dr. Malaz Bustani from Indiana University put it bluntly: prescribing tricyclics to seniors is like giving them a daily dose of temporary dementia that eventually becomes permanent. His research found that cognitive effects begin within 2 weeks of starting the medication. Patients report word-finding difficulties, forgotten appointments, and what one described as living life through frosted glass. The tragedy is that safer alternatives have existed for decades. SSRIs like sertraline have minimal anticholinergic activity. SNRIs like duloxetine actually improve cognitive function in some seniors. For nerve pain, gabapentin works without touching acetylcholine. For sleep, trazodone at low doses is far safer than any tricyclic. If you're on a tricyclic, don't panic, but do act. These medications require careful tapering. Stopping suddenly can trigger severe withdrawal. Work with your doctor to switch to a brain-friendly alternative. Some patients report feeling mentally sharper within weeks of switching. One 73-year-old said, "It was like someone cleaned my mental windshield." Now we're entering the top 3. the medications causing the most rapid and severe cognitive decline. Number 3 is particularly shocking because it's something many of you take without a second thought. Number 3. Z-drug sleep medications. The overnight brain assault. Zolpidem, Ambien, Ezopiclone, Lunesta, Zaleplon, Sonata. The Z-drugs promised to revolutionize sleep without the addiction risk of older sleeping pills. Millions of seniors take them nightly, trusting that a good night's sleep is worth any side effect, but new research reveals these drugs don't give you real sleep. They give you unconsciousness while dismantling your brain's waste removal system. Here's what happens every normal night. During deep sleep, your brain cells shrink by 60%, allowing cerebrospinal fluid to flush through and remove toxic proteins. It's like a dishwasher for your brain. But Z-drugs suppress the specific brain waves that trigger this cleaning process. You might be unconscious for 8 hours, but your brain never actually performs its maintenance. The toxic buildup accelerates brain aging by an estimated 5 to 10 years. A Taiwanese study following 260,000 seniors found that those taking Zolpidem regularly were 2.3 times more likely to develop Alzheimer's within 5 years. The risk was dose-dependent. The more you take, the faster the decline. But here's what's truly terrifying. Even occasional use, 2-3 times per week, increased dementia risk by 70%. The mechanism is uniquely destructive. Z-drugs enhance GABA, your brain's brake pedal, but they do it artificially and excessively. Your neurons become dependent on this artificial suppression. When the drug wears off, your brain rebounds with excessive activity. That's why many users report worse insomnia when they try to stop. This roller coaster of suppression and hyperactivity damages the hippocampus and accelerates neuron death. Dr. Bryce Mander from UC Irvine discovered something shocking. Seniors on Ambien showed the same brainwave patterns as early-stage Alzheimer's patients. We're essentially giving people a pill that mimics dementia, he said, and we're telling them to take it every night. The alternatives require effort, but preserve your mind. Cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, CBTI, is more effective than any sleeping pill and actually improves cognitive function. Sleep restriction therapy sounds counterintuitive, but resets your sleep drive naturally. Magnesium threonate crosses the blood-brain barrier and promotes natural deep sleep. Even simple sleep hygiene, consistent bedtime, cool room, no screens, works better long-term than Z-drugs. One recovered user shared, "I thought Ambien was helping me sleep. Turns out it was helping me forget. 6 months after stopping, I feel like I got my brain back." If Z-drugs are concerning, a number 2 medication is an absolute cognitive catastrophe. It's prescribed for anxiety, but creates a prison you might never escape. Number 2. Benzodiazepines. The anxiety trap that steals your soul. Alprazolam, Xanax, lorazepam, Ativan, diazepam, Valium, clonazepam, Klonopin. Benzodiazepines are prescribed to millions of anxious seniors with the promise of calm. What you get instead is chemical dependence and accelerated cognitive decline that can persist for years after stopping. The statistics are staggering. A BMJ study of 8,000 seniors found that those using benzos for more than 3 months had a 51% increased risk of Alzheimer's. For long-acting benzos like Valium, the risk jumped to 70%. But here's the truly sinister part. The cognitive damage continues even after you stop. Brain scans show persistent changes in grey matter volume up to 3 years after discontinuation. Benzos work by turbocharging GABA, essentially pressing your brain's pause button. But your brain adapts by reducing natural GABA production and decreasing receptor sensitivity. You need more of the drug just to feel normal. Meanwhile, your hippocampus, ground zero for memory formation, shrinks by up to 10% with chronic use. Your prefrontal cortex, responsible for decision-making and personality, shows decreased activity that mimics traumatic brain injury. Dr. Peter Breggin, a Harvard-trained psychiatrist, calls benzos brain-disabling drugs. His research found that seniors on benzos show cognitive impairment equivalent to being legally drunk. Permanently. Reaction time slow. Word recall disappears. Emotional blunting occurs. One patient described it. I stopped feeling anxious, but I also stopped feeling anything. I was existing, not living. The withdrawal process is particularly dangerous for seniors. Unlike opioids, benzo withdrawal can be fatal. Seizures, hallucinations, and severe confusion are common. Many seniors stay on these drugs not because they help, but because stopping feels impossible. It's pharmaceutical imprisonment, but escape is possible. The Ashton Manual provides detailed tapering schedules that can take 6 to 18 months but preserve brain function. Gabapentin can ease withdrawal symptoms. Buspirone provides anxiety relief without cognitive impact. Mindfulness meditation actually increases hippocampal volume, the opposite of benzos. One survivor said, "Tapering off Xanax was the hardest thing I've ever done, but I got my mind back. I can remember my grandkids' birthdays again." And now, number one, the medication that should never be prescribed to seniors but is given to millions, often without their knowledge. Number one, antipsychotic medications. The chemical lobotomy. Quetiapine, Seroquel, risperidone, Risperdal, olanzapine, Zyprexa, haloperidol, Haldol. These powerful antipsychotics were designed for schizophrenia and severe bipolar disorder. But today, they're prescribed to seniors for insomnia, anxiety, or behavioral issues in nursing homes. This off-label use is so common that 1 in 5 nursing home residents receives antipsychotics. It's nothing short of chemical restraint. The cognitive devastation is immediate and severe. A Lancet study found that seniors given antipsychotics showed 71% faster cognitive decline within just 6 months. Brain volume decreased by 1.2% per year, double the normal aging rate. But the real tragedy: many of these prescriptions are for convenience, not medical necessity. Nursing homes use them to create docile, manageable residents. Antipsychotics work by blocking dopamine, the neurotransmitter essential for motivation, movement, and executive function. But in seniors, they create what geriatricians call cognitive toxicity. Processing speed crashes, personality disappears, the spark of consciousness dims. Families watch their loved ones transform into hollow shells. The mechanisms are multifaceted destruction. Antipsychotics increase brain inflammation, disrupt the blood-brain barrier, and accelerate the formation of Alzheimer's pathology. They also increase stroke risk by 70% and death risk by 60% in dementia patients. The FDA has a black box warning about these risks, but prescriptions continue. Here's what's criminal: non-drug interventions work better. Validation therapy, acknowledging feelings rather than medicating them, reduces agitation by 60%. Environmental modifications like consistent routines and familiar objects decrease confusion. Music therapy, pet therapy, even simple human touch are more effective than antipsychotics without destroying the brain. If your loved one is on antipsychotics, demand answers. Why was it prescribed? What behaviors is it treating? Are those behaviors actually harmful or just inconvenient? Request a gradual taper while implementing behavioral interventions. Some families report their loved ones waking up after stopping these drugs. Recovery isn't always complete, but any improvement beats continued decline. The hidden danger: anticholinergic burden. But here's what nobody talks about: the cumulative effect. Many seniors take multiple medications from this list: Benadryl for sleep, oxybutynin for bladder, amitriptyline for pain. Each adds to your total anticholinergic burden. Studies show that taking 3 or more anticholinergic medications increases dementia risk by 120%. Your brain is under siege from multiple angles. There's an online calculator called the Anticholinergic Burden Scale. Input your medications, and it calculates your cognitive risk. Scores above 3 indicate significant danger. But most doctors never check this. They treat each condition separately without considering the cumulative brain damage. Your action plan. First, don't stop any medication suddenly. That's dangerous and could trigger withdrawal or rebound symptoms. Instead, schedule a medication review with your doctor. Bring this list. 1. Every medication you take, including over-the-counter. 2. How long you've taken each one. 3. The original reason for prescription. 4. Any cognitive changes you've noticed. Ask specifically about anticholinergic burden. Many doctors aren't familiar with this concept, so bring printed research. Request safer alternatives for each concerning medication. If your doctor dismisses your concerns, get a second opinion. This is your brain we're talking about. Consider working with a geriatric pharmacist. They specialize in medication management for seniors and can identify dangerous interactions your doctor might miss. Many insurance plans cover these consultations. Start a symptom diary. Track your memory, mood, and mental clarity daily. This objective record helps convince skeptical doctors and monitors improvement as you transition to safer alternatives. The recovery truth. Here's the hope I want to leave you with. Drug-induced cognitive impairment is often reversible. Studies show that seniors who successfully taper off anticholinergic medications can recover significant cognitive function within 6 to 12 months. Brain plasticity doesn't stop at 60, 70, or even 80. Your neurons want to heal if you stop poisoning them. One 78-year-old shared, "I was on 5 of these medications. My family was planning for memory care. Today, 2 years after my last anticholinergic drug, I'm sharper than I was at 65. I got my life back." Before I share the most important message of this entire video, something that could literally save your mind or that of someone you love, I need you to understand something. In my 30 years researching pharmaceutical effects on aging brains, I've seen thousands of preventable tragedies. What I'm about to tell you is the culmination of that experience, and it might be the most valuable 60 seconds of this entire video. The pharmaceutical industry counts on your silence. They know seniors don't complain, don't question authority, and trust their doctors implicitly. But you have power. Every time you question a prescription, request alternatives, or share this information, you chip away at a system that profits from your cognitive decline. The truth is, most doctors want to help but are overwhelmed, undertrained in geriatric pharmacology, and influenced by pharmaceutical marketing. When you advocate for your brain health, you're not being difficult, you're being smart. You're refusing to trade your memories for symptom relief. Remember, every medication is a choice, not a sentence. Every pill that crosses your lips should justify its risk to your most precious asset, your mind. You've earned the right to age with dignity, clarity, and consciousness. Don't let anyone, not even well-meaning doctors, take that from you with a prescription pad. Now I need you to take action. Share this video with every senior you know. Comment below with your medication list. We're reviewing every single comment and providing personalized guidance. Subscribe and hit the notification bell, because next week I'm revealing the supplements that actually protect your brain from pharmaceutical damage. Your brain is resilient. Your future is not written, and you have more power than you know. The question is, will you use it before it's too late?